learners, and welcome to the session on Tribes of Assam. This is from the course BSW 044 and I, Professor Rose Nimbiakim, is a course coordinator. Now the objective of this class is that we will examine the profiles of the tribes in the state of Assam, and by the end of this class one would be able to understand about the many tribal communities found in Assam, understand and describe the various cultural differences existing among the various tribal communities of Assam, and define the various interventional methods to be used for the development of the tribal communities of Assam. Now let me first start with the introduction. Assam, situated along the foothills of the Himalayas, is popularly known as a land of blue hills and red rivers. It is also the gateway to the other northeastern states of India. Assam is surrounded by Bhutan and Arunachal Pradesh in the north, Manipur, Nagaland in the east, and Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram in the south. Assam at present is spread over an area of approximately 78,438 square kilometers. Assam is divided into two segments, the Barak Valley and the Brahmaputra Valley. The world-famous Brahmaputra River flows right through the middle of Assam and nurtures a splendid and complex ecosystem around it. Assam has been the meeting ground for diverse ethnic groups since time immemorial, thus giving shelter to streams of migrations of various communities with their own distinct cultures and social milieu. Assam in Sanskrit means peerless or unparalleled. It was known as Pragjyotisha, or the place of Eastern astronomy during the epic period, and later named as Kamrupa, the place where the Kamadev, the Lord of Love in Hindu mythology, was born. But today, the widely accepted opinions of the scholars is that the term Assam has been culled from the original name of the Ahoms, who came to this land in 1228 AD and ruled for 6 centuries before the British took over after the Treaty of Yandabo in 1826. Assam's rich art and culture is also the result of the contribution of the Austro-Asiatics, the Negroids, the Dravidians, the Alpines, the Indo-Mongoloids, the Tibeto-Burmese and the Aryans, who ventured into Assam through various routes. Bihu is the chief festival and Assamese the principal language of the state. Assam has been ungrudgingly blessed with unparalleled scenic grandeur, evergreen forests and exotic wildlife and the rolling tea gardens. The state has 28 districts. Assam is an agrarian state. The most commonly cultivated crop is paddy, but people also cultivate maize, oilseeds, sugarcane, potatoes, jute, etc. Tea cultivation is another important source of income for the state. Assam also has rich mineral deposit. Petroleum and minerals like coal and limestone are found in Assam. Now let us look at the population, size and distribution. The total population of Assam according to 2011 census is approximately 3 crores 12 lakhs 5,576. Of them, 38 lakhs 84,371 persons are scheduled tribes, that is the STs, constituting 12.44% of the total populations of the state. The state has registered 17.46% decadal growth of ST, that is the scheduled tribe population, in 2001 to 2011. There are 29 notified tribes in the state. Bodos constitute nearly half of the total scheduled tribe population of the state, that is approximately 35.05%. The other major tribes constituting more than 5% of the total population are Miri, known as Mishings, which is 17.51%, Mikir or the Karbis, that is 11.08%, Rabha, that is 7.62%, Kachari, that is Sonawal Kachari, which is approximately 7.1%, and Lalung, known as Tiwa, also 5.70%. Along with the Bodos, they constitute around 90% of the scheduled tribe population of the state. Besides them, the Dimasa constitutes 2.65% and Deori 1.12% of the total scheduled tribe population of the state. Now let us look into the religion. Of the total scheduled tribe population of Assam, 90.7% are Hindus and 8.8% Christians. Besides these two religions, approximately 6,267 persons are Muslims. Approximately 5,153 practice Buddhism, and approximately 3,574 persons pursue various other faiths and have been categorized under other religions and persuasion. Now let us look at the other tribes within Assam. The Bodos. The Bodos belong to Indo-Mongoloid ethnic group of Tibeto-Burmese language family. Among scheduled tribes, Bodos constitute nearly half of the total scheduled tribe population of the state, that is approximately 40.9%. The Bodos are considered as the earliest settler of Assam and are a culture-loving community settled mostly along the northwest part of Assam. Kokrajhar district of Assam is considered as the center of the Bodos. The tribe is divided into clans according to their traditional occupation. A clan name ends with the word Ari. Now there are 23 Aris. Some of them are Basumatri, Masari, Doim Ari, Narzari, Ramasari, to name a few. The names of the clans are used as the surnames. They are patriarchal and prefer living in a joint family. The sons living with the joint family receives double the share of the property of the family compared to the ones who separate from the family. The eldest son assumes the charge of the family after the death of the father. Hadan Gora and Hachung Gora are the two important institutions of the Bodo community. These institutions ensure the observance of the traditional practices within the community. The common institution in the Bodo village is the village council. The Gaumbura, that is the village headman, and the assistant Halmazi perform the social functions of the village. Marriage within the same clan is prohibited. Widow remarriage is accepted, but then she loses the right to the property of a deceased husband. She can take the child below 1 year if she has one with her to the new husband. A widower can remarry the younger sister of the deceased wife, but not the elder sister. Likewise, a widow can remarry the younger brother of the deceased husband, but not the elder. Now, let us understand their marriage concept. There are 6 types of marriages. They are Sang Nanoi Lai Nahaba, which is also known as a negotiated marriage. Gorjia Lakni Nai Haba, which is also known as a marriage by service. Kar Sunai Haba, the bride enters the groom's house before the settlement of the marriage. Bono Noi Lai Nai Haba, that is the bride is forcefully taken. And Dokar Lang Nai Haba, which is an elopement marriage. And Donkahab Nai Haba, which is a marriage. Now, among all this, Sang Nanoi Lai Nai Haba, the system, is the most accepted form of marriage. They also had the practice of bride price, which they call Pun or Puntaka, but gradually it is becoming less prevalent. If a couple once divorced, it is placed before the gathering, which is also known as a samaj, and the act of divorce is symbolized by tearing a betel leaf, which is called Pathoi Lai Bisnai in the Bodo language. If a husband divorces his wife for inadequate reasons, he has to bear the responsibility for her livelihood for some period of time as decided by the samaj. Agriculture is the main source of livelihood. They cultivate ahu and sali paddy. They rear the airy silk cocoons. The famous red eerie cocoons are reared by the Bodos of Kokrajhar. The men folk are expert in making cane and bamboo products. Bodo language has no script of its own, but Devanagari script is used. The Bodo Sahitya Sabha has contributed largely towards the development of the Bodo literature by encouraging more publications and writings in Bodo language. The influence of the Assamese language is noticed in most of the songs of the Bodo tribe. In the olden days, the Bodos were animist, but later on they were converted to Hinduism and to other religions. A large number of them are still the followers of Bathau or Lord Shiva of the Hindu pantheon. They also have other deities like the Mainau, that is Lakshmi or the goddess of wealth, Bathauburi and Bathaubura, who are protectors of this world. Kerai is another religious institution of the Bodos. Kerai Puja is generally observed before and after the cultivation for reaping a good harvest. Besides the religious occasions, they also observe the Bihus of Assam. The musical instrument of the Bodo community are kham, which is known as a mandal, jodka kwabang, that is a tal, sipuri, that is the flute, and torkha, which is the drum. The Bodo women wear dhokna, a single piece of garment covering from breast to ankles. Blouse is used to cover the upper part of the body. The men wear dhoti, shirt and trousers. They wear a scarf called patani, which has geometrical designs on the border. Patani is usually the symbol of the Bodo tribe. The staple food of the Bodos is rice. They also prepare homemade rice beer called jumai. The dead are either buried or cremated. The rituals after the death of a family members are performed in the form of daha. The dowry, which is the priest, or ojha, that is the medicine man, chants the mantra. Now let us look at the Mishing tribe. The Mishing tribe, also known as the Miris or Tanis, belong to the Tibeto-Burmese tribal group. The culture and the tradition of the Mishing tribes are quite similar to that of the Adi tribe of Arunachal Pradesh. They have settled along the southwest belt bordering the state of Assam. They are found in the districts of Tinsukia, Sibsagar, Dibrugarh, Jorhat, North Lakhimpur and Golaghat. They are settled mainly on the banks of the river Brahmaputra and the other rivers of Assam. Their main occupations are agriculture and fishing. They speak Mishing language. The Mishing are divided into 12 clans, namely Pagro, Delu, Moying, Sayang, Dembuk, Oyen, Somua, Bebejia, Samuguria, Tamer, Bankwal and Bihya. The culture of the Mishings is considered widely as rich, diverse and colorful. There are various festivals and dances of the Mishings. The dances are called Paksong or Somam. The songs in Mishing local dialects are called as the Nitom. They are of three types known as the Oi Nitom, Aku Nitom and Anu Nitom. Aku mainly conveys the rich culture and the history of the Mishing tribe, and the Oi and Amonitom are the contemporary love songs, and the Oi and Anunitom are the contemporary love songs and use modern music. The drums, cymbals and the flute are the common musical instruments used by the Mishing tribe. The main festivals of the Mishings is the Ali Ailigang, which is celebrated in the month of February on the first Wednesday of Assamese month Phagun. It is to mark the sowing of the new crops. The festival is marked by hunting expeditions and grand feast. Earlier, people used to go for hunting in the forest and come back just before the festival, bringing with them lots of game, and the villagers would gather to welcome them. Now here, with the name of the game, it is not a game that we play, but with this game it signifies the animals which they kill in the hunting, which all the entire villages eat together. Now this practice is still there among the Mishings of Sadia, but it is not seen in other Mishing areas in Assam. Porag is another festival associated with harvesting of the crops. It is celebrated by inviting guests from other villages who participate in the meal and the singing and the dancing. The Mishings enjoy pork and rice beer during these two festivals. Besides these, the Mishings also celebrate religious festivals such as Dobor, the sacrificed chicken to please the gods for the offense committed. When Dobor is celebrated on the public road, travelers are not allowed to cross the road, but they can do so by paying some money. Some of the other religious festivals are Talenguyu, Oromapin, etc. They also observe the three main Bihus festival, which is a festival of Assam, namely the Magh Bihu, the Bohag Bihu and the Kati Bihu. The Mishings cultivate paddy, maize, mustard seeds and varieties of potatoes. They are also considered an expert fishermen. Fishing is the main occupation after agriculture. The Mishing favors joint family system where the husband is the head of the family. He has authority over all family matters. Arranged marriages are considered as ideal at the community level. Some of the Mishings have taken to Hinduism, while the others still retain the religious traditions of the ancestors, believing in the existence of numerous malevolent and benevolent deities. By malevolent deities, we mean a bad deity, and by benevolent is a giving deity, the one who is a good deity. The present religion of the Mishing is the syncretic product of animism and other religions. They worship the sun, known as a Donyi, and the moon, Apollo. The Mishings have their own governing system since time immemorial. The Mikom, who is also the king, was a nominal head. The internal matters of the village were entrusted to his gams, or the ministers. The village assembly was known as the Kabang. The issues of the villages were discussed and decisions were taken in the Kabang. The Kabangs were generally housed in the Mirong, which was the place for the development of cultural activities and youth welfare. As the Mishings are found on the banks of the rivers, they are also victims of floods every year. Huge loss of property, crops and cattle, and at times even of human lives occurs every year. The remote settlement of this community also deprives them of schemes of the government which are otherwise enjoyed by the other tribes located at more accessible places for the flow of the government schemes and programs. Erosion of agricultural land by the mighty Brahmaputra and its tributaries is one of the major problems for the Mishing people. Now, after having studied about the Mishing tribe, let us go to the Karbis, or the Mikirs. The Karbis are found in several parts of Assam. They are mainly found in the district of Karbi Anglong, Golaghat, Sibsagar, Kamrup, North Chachar and Nagaon. The Indian constitution refers to them as Mikirs. They are also identified as Manchatis and Arlang. Physically, the Karbis have good height and are yellowish brown in complexion. The dresses are also too exquisite to look at. The males wear an elongated strip coat, better known as choi. The dresses are also too exquisite to look at. The males wear an elongated striped coat, better known as choi. The male also wear a short dhoti, popularly known as ringcoat vedfort, which basically covers nakedness. Selang is white bordered cloth used as dhoti. They also have different kinds of jackets, different names. Choi hangtor, choi ik or black colored jacket, or choi yang, that is a red colored jacket. On the head they put on the pagri or poho. The women folk put on special petticoat known as pini, which is tied around the waist with a beautiful ornamental belt called vamkok. The upper part of the body is enclosed by pijishu. But the traditional dress was modified, and at present the women prefer to wear peacock, which is a long narrow cloth wrapped around the whole body. The older women use pesarpi, a black, red and white colored striped cloth. Some of the ornaments often used by the Karbis are norik, a brass earring, princeroy, a silver bracelet, lakrove, a silver necklace, nothengpi, very large earring made of silver usually put on by women, and roperoy, a silver bracelet used by young ladies. Leglokso, a women necklace made of white beads. Lexika, lekhiki are kinds of necklace made of silver coins and red beads. The typical Karbi house, Hemtengsong, is raised with posts on all four sides with walls compacted with bamboos. The roof is thatched with sungrass. Now, the furniture of the houses is mainly made of wood, bamboo and cane. The Karbi language belongs to the Tibeto-Burmese group. They are divided into three groups based on the location of their habitation, namely Chinthong, Ronghang and Amri. But they do not differ from each other. They also have the other divisions called the Nilib Lubajang and Longkung Longtang. Every Longri or the division had a Lingdokpo which acts as a king, but after independence this system was abandoned. They also have some traditional institutions as the other tribal communities have. The traditional village council of the Karbis is known as May, which consists of all the male members of the village. The May is responsible for regulating the social, economic and the religious life of the community. Every village has a Gaumbura, that is the village headman, who is also called the Sarthe. It is generally appointed by the authority of the Autonomous Council. He is assisted by Risobasa or the assistant. Each Karbi village has a paranke or the messenger who is responsible to pass on the message of the Gambura to the villagers. The Karbis have 5 clans called Kur. These are Terang, Teron, Enge, Ingti and Timung. These clans are completely exogamous. By exogamous clan, we mean that they are allowed to marry outside of their social class or the outside of their own clan. And a marriage between a boy and a girl of the same clan can never take place as they are considered brothers and sisters. Even in the burial ground called Tipit or Thiri, areas is kept separately for each clan. Although all the clans are of equal status, the Ingti clan is a priestly race and occupied a higher status in the society in the earlier days. Though this tribe practices monogamy, there are rare cases of polygamy. The cross-cousin marriage is a preferential one. After the marriage, the wife continues to use the surname of her father, but children from the marriage use the surname of their father. The Karbi community also carry out various practices and activities related to cultivation and farming. Paddy is the main crop for them. The Karbis also have their own tribal religion called Honghari. Besides this, some of them have taken to Hinduism. Now let us look at the Rabhas. The Rabha community is found in Golpara, Kamrup and Darang districts of Assam. The Rabhas have some cultural similarities with the Bodo linguistic groups. The Rabhas are said to be the offshoots of the Kachari tribe. The 2011 census shows that the literacy rate among the Rabha community is 75.1% against the 72.1% literacy rate among the tribals of Assam. The community is branched into 2 main groups, such as the Maitoria and the Randaniya groups. Now, the primary occupation of the Rabhas are agriculture and weaving. Initially, this community was engaged in shifting cultivation using gogo or billhooks, but later on began doing settled farming using the plough. Their economy is basically agrarian. The main deity to which the Rabha community pays reverence is called Rishi Akka Mahakal. Other deities worshipped by them are Basek and Rumtuk, who are the household deities. The Rabhas have the practice of offering sacrifices in front of the deities, as that is considered as a requirement to propitiate them. The major festival of the Rabha community is the Baiko, which is celebrated in the spring season in honor of the goddess of wealth, locally known as Baiku. The festivals are celebrated with dances, music and songs and merrymaking. Nak Jungreni, a special dance of the Rabha community, is performed when they celebrate the festival of fishing. Now with this, we come to the end of the first session. We shall discuss more about the tribals found in Assam in the next session. I hope till now the session has been clear. Thank you.